Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing, cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan, pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the call. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we poppin', let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
Yo, what's cracking, Panther Nation? It's your boy Rashad. For right now, Dave will be here in just a second. Don't fret for all you fans of the great Dave. He will be here in just a minute. Obviously, he had to take care of some stuff with his daughter, so he'll be here in just a second. So hang tight, Panther Nation, and we'll be together once again. All right. With that said, a lot to talk about. A couple things went down. You know, the Panthers are starting to move and groove a little bit. You know what I mean? So, let's talk about it. You know, you got your coaching changes, you got some re-signings, a lot of good things happening. Right now for the Carolina Panthers, and we're gonna be here to react to it. They said new mic. Nah, it's not my new mic. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's not a new mic, but let me check. Mic sounds bogus. Give me 1 second. I gotta change it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm doing it. I'm using a new browser. Give me 1 second. No, it's the same mic. Is it? What's wrong with the mic? Don't sound right? It's too loud? So my mic might sound bogus. It's because I'm using a different browser. I might need to go back. Surround sound. All right, give me 1 second. Let me join another browser. Give me 1 second, y'all. This is what happens when you try to, you know what I mean? Said worse than your OG joint. Give me 1 second. 1 second. So I got a bad echo, sound muffled. 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right, how about now? Mic check. I wasn't eating nothing, bro. Y'all saying it sound like I'm eating gum. Nah, I'm not eating nothing. Mic check 1, 2. How's it sound? Better, worse? I'm not eating nothing, bro. We good now? Yeah, it was my browser, bro. My fault. I tried a different browser. Shouldn't have did that. Better. Okay, better. Good. My fault. My apologies, y'all. That's what happened when you try some new stuff, man. My bad. My apologies. Dave, like I said earlier, Dave will be here in just a second. So everybody hold tight. My apologies for the delay. Real quick, man. Those of you that are in Charlotte, I hope you are in in North Carolina, period, up north, a little bit north, Greensboro. How, y'all ready? Y'all locked in for the snow? Y'all locked in for the snow? I'm hearing we get several inches. Pause. Several inches of snow incoming for the Carolinas, man. Are y'all excited about it? I know Charlotte Mecklenburg schools have already, they already said we done. We remote learning for Charlotte Mecklenburg County schools. So y'all ready for this joint? Cold rain. That's what they're saying. Cold rain, snow. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. I'm ready for it. Yes, the roads. Marcus says, does NC still not pre-treat the roads? My roads are pre-treated. You can see the lines all in the road. So they are pre-treating the roads, but it don't matter. It don't matter, bro. It's gonna be bad around these parts, man. My man said Landon said 2 to 4 inches in the triangle. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy around here, man. So it sounds like the groundhog was right. You know what I mean, with the winter and all that. He was right about that joint. Yeah, be careful out in these streets, man. Stay off the roads if you can. If you ain't got nothing to do, just stay at the crib, man. It's nothing wrong with staying at the house. It's nothing wrong with staying at the house, dog. For real. Just stay at the crib. Just stay at the crib. All right. So let's go ahead and get into some content here. We got a lot to talk about. Well, not so much. We might get into a little, free for all a little bit later, depending on how much we get through. But it's quite a bit of news to talk about. Let's go ahead and switch up my systems here. All right, so y'all know what it is. Stay on the proud, man. All that good stuff, man. Real quick, if you have not, or if you have forgotten, all super chats for the month of February will be going to the organizations that Jalen Coker supports. So you got Love Like Adam Foundation and the Guys and Dolls Auction Gala. So get those super chats up, man. I did say the top 5 folks will be getting a nice little something in the mail, and I got the standings for you so you can see where you stand. I have the standings for you. Okay, let me go back. Oh, where'd it go? I must have. Hold on. I don't have the standings. Give me 1 second. 1 second. I do have them. I have them. Don't fret, guys. I do have them. You see it. My fault. I do have the standings right here. Standings right here. So Steve, my man Steve is at the top. Steve is at the top, leading the pack with $25 donated. We are right now sitting at $170 total. I would like to see us get to 1,000. In the past, we were able to get up to $2,000, or I think we got to 1,000. I may have matched the other 1,000. I can't remember what it was. We may have gotten to 1,500, and I matched the other 500 to get us to 2,000 for Brandon Social scholarships. So I'm looking to do the same here, man. So let's get close. Let's get to $500 or $1,000. I mean, let's try to make that happen and support Jalen Coker and his causes. It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff over there. Now, I'm not seeing what Tom is doing, man. What's Tom doing? Shout out to Tom, man. He good dude over there. Well, or is he? I don't know. Let me see. Before he's a good dude, I gotta see what he's talking about. What y'all talking about with Tom? But go ahead, support the causes, hit the super chats. All 100% of all super chats will be going to support Jalen Coker and the foundations that he supports. So go ahead and hit that super chat button and let's make that thing happen. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right, T. Higgins. So the news is out. A lot of people, and this is why I don't really invest too much in saying who we should sign before the daggone franchise tags even come. Half the guys we even talk about probably won't even hit the market. Oh, that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Raising $1 million where he doesn't end the live stream. That's fire. He's pulling the daggone Cassinet almost, but for a good cause. Not to say Sinat wasn't doing it for a good cause, but that's dope, man. Shout out to Tom. That's dope, man. It's fire. Appreciate that. We got super chats coming in already. Shout out to Top Dog. Let's get it, Coker Foundation, man. Appreciate that. Again, top 5 donators will be receiving a signed Jalen Coker 8x10. And I haven't forgot about your A-Cash. I got you. You might get 2 if you end up in the top 10 again. So I got you, bro. I ain't forgot about you. Shout out to B-Wise. Keep pounding, man. You right there, right in the top 10. We appreciate that. You're going to put yourself right in the top 10 off the rip. Shout out to B-Wise, man. Appreciate that. But T. Higgins, man, off the list, off the wish list for your boys. And that's crazy, right? They're going to try to figure it out. We heard, Burrow go on an interview and talk about how, we got to make it happen. You see what the Eagles doing. They can pay all their guys. Yeah, you're right, but there's got to be some context to that. They draft extremely well as well. So there's obviously what he's saying is accurate. The Eagles do pay all their people, but they draft a lot of people too. They draft extremely well. You know what I mean? So that's how they're able to balance. You know what I mean? That you paying and drafting guys. So man, that's what it is, man. That's what it is. So again, be careful about falling in love with guys. I know a lot of people wanted Higgins, and that appears to not be happening. Although it is, I think what I read the article was going to be a non-exclusive franchise tag. So the price tag is up there. If you want to go get them, then you got to pay the Bengals, and they're going to have the right to refuse, a right to match that. Excuse me. So you gonna have to come with your best offer. You got to come with your best offer. You know what I mean? He said T. Higgins' mom was upset. That's the name of the game. Hey, listen, it's the teams is always going to have their best interests at heart, and they're going to do what they do. You know what I mean? They have the ultimate leverage at the end of the day, so they're going to play their cards. You know what I mean? The team, it's like house money. It's like going to the casino. They always going to win. You know what I mean? So you got to hedge your bets. All right, real quick, man. Super chat's coming in hot and heavy. Ladarian says, I'm staying in the top 5. And he says another super chat. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that for Ladarian. Landing coming in with the $20 super chat for Coke. Appreciate that, man. We already up. We already done double what we already had, just about. We appreciate that. Bobby Digital, keep pounding and hit that like button, man. I appreciate the super chats. Appreciate that, man. Again, 100% of super chats for the month of February will be going to Jalen Coker, and we're trying to hit that $1,000 mark. So we got a couple weeks to go. Let's make that happen. All right. But yeah, man. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. It's gonna be very interesting to see how it plays out, man. I'm always gonna ride for the player. Pause. You know what I mean? I want to see the players get paid. I think, obviously the ultimate game lies in the hands of the teams, and they have a lot of leverage, and the lifespan, the career span of a NFL player is short. So you got to get the bag while you can. So I'm always gonna side with the players and getting their money. You know what I mean? That's why I'm not mad at Brian Burns doing what he did. I'm not mad at anybody. Christian McCaffrey, all these guys. You go out there and get your money. Now, I understand the game, right? And it's a business at the end of the day. So teams are gonna make business decisions, and they're gonna move on from guys, but they're gonna try to keep T, man. They're gonna try to keep that clan together. It's gonna be tough. And again, paying guys like Jamar, Burrow, Higgins, that's gonna take away from building that defense unless you can draft well. So they're going to have to hit those draft picks. And that's the same with the Panthers, right? Same thing goes for the Panthers, especially when you have Bryce Young on a rookie deal. You got to nail your draft. And we're going to talk about the draft a little bit later because some grades came out. And I think some rankings came out for our draft class. And I know we are particularly high on our draft class, and we like it. And we like what it could be. But I think one of the rankings I was looking at is it came in at 27th. The 27th ranked draft class this past year, and that's no bueno. That is no bueno. That is no bueno. Okay, not good. 27th ranked draft class. We got to get that draft class up. Funches. Woo, Floridian slip. XL got to get right. XL got to get right. We got to get Brooks healthy. Trevin was doing his thing. You know what I mean? Trevin was doing his thing. You know what I mean? So it's cool, bro. It's cool. We'll see what happens. We got plenty of time. You heard it? You heard it? that 17, man, that 17, Funches got it. You know what I mean? It's burned in my brain. And right now, I can't say that he wasn't playing like Funches. So I just keeping it a buck. It's keeping it a buck. All right, let's keep it moving. But T. Higgins off the market, and let's see if they're gonna see if let's see if the Bills keep that clan together. It's gonna be very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's keep it moving. So we got some coaching changes. Now, this is true. This is very true. Trevor says just because T is getting tagged does not mean he can't get traded. That is very true. Very accurate statement. But what it does do is it keeps the leverage with the Bengals. The Bengals hold the cards. So it was a smart move by the Bengals to go ahead but my larger point was to say that, you know, these guys typically, when these big names, they're not just going to let these guys walk for nothing. It typically does not happen like that. You know what I mean? So the Bengals was not going to let T. Higgins just hit the market for nothing. It wasn't going to happen. Was not going to happen. Was not going to happen. So shout out to the Bengals. They did it. I think they did the right thing. But anyway, coaching changes. Strength and conditioning coach Jeremy Scott. All right. So I was perusing, you know what I mean? Perusing through. And I was like, yo, what's up? What's up with this Baylor dude? How did he still end up being on the roster? Like, how does this man still lock in with the Carolina Panthers? Why does he still have a job? He was one of the Baylor holdovers. I believe he was a Baylor holdover from when your boy Rule was here. You know what I mean? So what happened with that, bro? Like, why? How did he end up still being around? So, and again, strength and conditioning coaches, it all aligns. It all aligns with some of the injuries that the Panthers have been dealing with, the soft tissue stuff, and you're gonna see another thing. We did hire some new coaches and new trainers and all that stuff, strength and conditioning guys. We did hire some new guys, but it was due time, bro. I think the Carolina Panthers, based on our injury history, probably have one of the worst training staffs in the history of the NFL. The amount of injuries year over year that we continue to deal with to our key players, it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence. No coincidence at all. So this guy, like I said, when I went to Google his name and I saw he had this Baylor joint on, I was like, how did this man still hang around? He must have had some, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what was going on with this. I don't know how he continued to hang around. Yeah, I mean, so this to me, and again, we don't know. We're not in the weight rooms. We don't know how it works on the back end. Pause. But this to me appears to be a good move. Moving on, getting some guys in here that can help better prepare our guys for the game, because obviously that was not happening due to the amount of injuries that we were dealing with. I'm talking about key guys. Key guys. You know what I mean? So shout out to Mr. Hunky Dory, says the last 29 draft picks, only 14 to 15 of those on the team. The rest went elsewhere, which means we messed up on 50% of our draft picks. No good. Yes, ideally you want to see some of that retention be held and these guys develop. That's part of the problem that I've been talking about for a long time. And it's not really due to the player. It doesn't mean the player is bad per se. It means that we keep bringing in new coaches and the direction of the team changes, which means you may or may not fit along with the program that the new coach wants. So we got to continue to shift the roster. That's what's been happening with the Carolina Panthers. So it's not necessarily the talent. It could be part of it. Certainly. I'm not absolving the talent for not holding up their end of the deal and saying we got the right guys. But what I'm saying is it doesn't help that we are continuously churning coaches in the direction the team is changing. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, strength and conditioning coach, Jeremy Scott is up out of the paint, bro. He's out of here, man. And I think this is a very good move. Again, they got all of the analytics. They got all that data, bro. they got all the data in the world that correlates with this being a good move. And so I support it. Think it's the right move, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. So with that said, let's move on because we did get some guys here. So we got to talk about the new strength and conditioning coach, Josh Hingst, Vice President of Player Health and Performance, Denny Kellington, Denny Kellington, and offensive assistant Keyshawn Colmon. And no, that's not a typo. That is how that man spells his name. So, let's talk about these individually because I think these are some very, very interesting hires. I think it's very interesting that you bring in a guy that has a lot of experience. Hingst came from a winning program in the Philadelphia Eagles. He's got some good some good coaching history here. He used to coach or do strength and conditioning with the Vikings from 2013 to 2020. And then in Philadelphia, my apologies, y'all. I read that wrong. His past 4 seasons were with the Vikings, and then he was with the Eagles from 2013 to 2020. So if I were to do my little player profiler, my coach profiler thing, y'all remember how I show the guy's resume. Did not have time to do all that. But when I do the resume, you will see a Super Bowl trophy with this guy because he has a Super Bowl trophy with the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Not this past one, but the one they won prior. Okay. So he played a major role in the implementation of one of the NFL's first data-driven training systems. And y'all know how much David Tepper loves a good data analytics guy. You want to know why? Because he hired this guy. He hired this guy, the guy that wrote this book, Analytics. You know what I mean? So he hired that guy. So Tepper loves a good analytics guy. Okay. Again, past 4 seasons with the Vikings. Prior to that, working with the Eagles. He is a Nebraska native. He was at Florida State, so go Noles. He was a Florida State guy from 2004 to 2008. Nutritionist for the Atlanta Falcons in 2008, 2009, and the director of sports nutrition at the University of Lincoln, Nebraska in 2009 and 2011. And then he was assistant strength and conditioning coach for the Jaguars for 2011 to 2012. So he's been in the league for 17 years. 17 years. That's a lot of good experience. And he's got, again, I love to see when these guys come from winning programs. They know what it's like. They like to inject that sauce and inject that vibe into the building. And so I like that a lot. So I like this hire a lot. I know it's kind of weird to get excited about strength and conditioning coaches and all that, but this is a really, really good move. And again, there's been a lot of turnover behind the scenes with these coaching and assistant coaching staff changes, but these are the changes that really matter, right? These are the changes that, while you may not really see the day-to-day growth behind the scenes, it matters at the end of the day. So I really, really like this hire. And I don't really know much about the rest of the guys, but I will kind of read their profiles. In addition to that, like I said, we hired a Buffalo Bills associate athletic trainer, Denny Kellington, as their vice president of player health and performance. He helped out with your boy Damar Hamlin, excuse me. When Damar Hamlin had his issue, he was right there. He ran to the scene. You know what I mean? He ran to the scene to help that joint out. You know what I mean? So it sounds really good. I really like these hires. He helped save your boy Damar Hamlin's life in 2023. So again, anybody that can save a life, I'm here for it. Absolutely, 100% here for it. And then we hired also offensive assistant Keyshawn Colmon. This is an interesting hire. So Again, according to, and this came from the John Carroll Sports, which is where he used to coach. You know what I mean? He is joining the Panthers as an offensive assistant. This is from John Carroll University. This Colmon's alma mater. They posted the news, so salute to that. He is from Ohio. He played wide receiver for the Blue Streaks in 2018 through 2021. He had 41 receptions for 624 yards, 6 touchdowns, and played 22 collegiate games. So he actually transitioned into coaching as a graduate assistant for the University of Dayton in 2022. Then he went on to serve as an offensive grad assistant for Fresno State in 2023. And this past year, he worked as the wide receivers coach at Sacramento State University. Now, this is a hire, a little weird one. This is a little weird one. You know what I mean? Like, this is one of them ones where you got to know. It's like you got to know somebody. This is where your network helped you get to the building. There's nothing wrong with that. But a guy that coming from John Carroll University, like I don't even know where that's at. I don't even know where that's at. You know what I mean? Like, how does this happen? Like, who does he know to get an interview for this position? You know what I mean? Help me connect the dots. Who do I need to talk to? You know what I mean? Yeah, definitely the network help. Shout out to Deontay. The network definitely helped with this net worth. I don't know where in the world this come from. Where's the connection? Where is the connection here, bro? I tried to connect the dots earlier. John Carroll University, bro. I have no idea where this is. And again, there's nothing wrong with it. He might be the most qualified guy in the world. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not hating on the hire. I'm just trying to figure out how it happened. Shout out to Carson. Carson, who I believe, Carson, you from Ohio, right? Carson. He said John Carroll is in Cleveland, like an hour from. Yeah, you're from Ohio. That's what I thought. So that's crazy. George says he knows Cooley. Maybe. That's dope. That's dope if that's the case. That's fire. That's dope. Shout out to John Carroll University, man. But yeah, that's interesting. I was thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, how did this man get this job, bro? You from John Carroll University, fam? Like, bro, weird. But anyway, those are some behind the scenes coaching changes that are happening. These are the ones that the real Panthers fans should know and keep an eye on, just because it's important. You know what I mean? You got to know who's working with your team, who's helping develop your players, because all this is important. All this is important. That Hingst hire is a dope one. And I'm just going to be honest. I think that they wanted Hingst and they had their eye on him. Tepper, and this is just my brain. This is my brain. This is how my brain works, inside of my brain. Tepper said, somebody go get me this guy. Because they could have hired this dude a long time ago. I mean, they could have hired him a while back. Why it take so long? You know what I mean? Why it take so long? Dave, what's good, bro? Dave in the building.
Sorry I'm late, guys. You know what it is. It's Tuesday.
Real quick, let me get through this thought real quick, Dave, before I let you jump in.
Go for it.
So I'm thinking this John Hingst guy, Tepper said, I want this dude. Because why did it take so long for us to transition from Jeremy Scott? Jeremy Scott been here for a minute. You know what I mean? And so he been here. Tepper said, hey, go get this guy. Like, he worked with the Eagles. Eagles won a Super Bowl. Had the Eagles won a Super Bowl, this probably wouldn't even been a thing, right? But since the Eagles won a Super Bowl again, and he was connected to the Eagles, Tepper said, hey, I need a champ. Go get him. And that's how John Hingst ends up being the strength and conditioning coach for the Carolina Panthers. That's just my theory. I'm sticking to it. Dave, these are our coaching changes. I don't know if you had a chance to look at them at all. but these are our behind the scenes coaching changes. Any thoughts on any of these guys? And just real quick before you get into that, we did move on from Jeremy Scott, who was a Baylor guy.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that, and I think that was the Baylor. That means that was the Matt Rule guy.
Correct.
Yeah. The Matt. It took a while, but I think I do concur with the theory of there's somebody that they absolutely wanted, and they weren't going to switch until they got the guy that they wanted. I'm rolling with that. I think this is a good hire. I'm fascinated to see if his routine and his program will help to reduce the injury count from the franchise. So I'm they're finally cleaning the house a little bit. I mean, there's still some tension from previous errors that gotta go. So I think that was a good move from that standpoint.
Yeah, they still got dust the ceiling fan. Yeah, I mean, it's still some allergies and some dander up there.
One thing about like dander and dust, man, it's always gonna be there. It's just a matter of how much you're willing to keep. How thick is it gonna stay? You know what I'm saying? So it all depends. Because the injuries were bad. Like something have to give. All my sports teams had a lot of injuries this year. A&T, Carolina, everybody. And that's one of the first things they got rid of was strength conditioning at A&T. So now they're finally getting around to get this guy. Hopefully this will work.
Now, Dave, when you say Carolina, you gotta specify which Carolina you talking about.
The Panthers, the Carolina Panthers.
Oh, okay. I thought you was going to South Carolina. My bad.
Oh no, man! I ain't keeping track enough like that. Like I ain't got time, man. I ain't got cable no more. I ain't got time to be out here looking at all this stuff.
All right. So those are the coaching changes. You know what I mean? So again, keep an eye on all Panthers fans should know about these because again, these are the coaches that are gonna be interacting with your players day to day and helping develop. So you're gonna see hopefully some things correlate between these changes. And like Dave said, the injury goes down, injury bug is no longer a thing here. And our guys remain healthy, and it's partially going to be due in part to, the strength and conditioning and the data analytics that he's going to use. So, yeah, so good stuff here. All right, let's move on, Dave. All right, we got to talk about it, Dave. Couple re-signings. While we had a lot of coaching changes, some things remain the same, Dave. So the legendary J.J. Jansen has re-signed with the Carolina Panthers. Once again, Dave, your thoughts?
I'm not mad at it, man. Like, it's a very important position. But, man, he's been on this team for a long time, bro.
So what you want him out the paint? What you saying?
No. I love JJ. It's just the perspective of how long, like, he's been here since probably Fox, right? He's been here since the Fox era, if I recall. Or close near the end of the Fox. Yeah, he's been here for a while.
Yeah.
Like, put that in perspective, guys. He's gone through John Fox, Ron Rivera, Matt Rule trying to get him out of the paint.
He tried to get him out of here, yo.
He tried to get him out of here, bro. Frank Wright, and then like all the interim coaches in between, your Steve Wilkes, your Frank Wright, your I forgot the Chris Tabor. Like you got all these. He has survived them all. That's what you call continuity, ladies and gentlemen. And that shows you how good he was and still is. To stay around that long.
Hold on, Dave. He's played under 8 head coaches, including
interim. Yeah,
8. So his original the original coach, Dom Capers, came back. So it was Dom guy. And then all the way through, he's played every coach with the exception of George Seifert. That's crazy, bro.
Wait a minute. Are we counting when he was on with Don being on the staff now? Or he was there?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Don't be out here like, oh yeah, he got let go during the Seifert era and he came back. That's what you made it sound like.
Yeah, correct. My bad. I ain't mean to get you like that.
You're like, oh, whoa. Now he's been there for a while. Like he started in the Fox era. I know that much. But now it's kind of wild. The only coach he's never been on that's been on the staff in Panthers history is Seifert.
Correct.
It's kind of wild to think. You start to think about it.
Yeah. So Dave, again, longest tenured player in franchise history, 1-year deal. Dave, 17th season for the Carolina Panthers. He's 39 years old. That's crazy, bro.
That's over half of the history of the franchise.
That's crazy, bro. 39 years old. Been with the Panthers since 2009. And he's played in more games than any other player in Carolina Panthers history. He broke that record, who was once held by John Casey, who broke that record in 2022. 260 games. Man, that's crazy. 41st in all-time league history. And he could, if he plays in every game this year, he could get to 27th all.
That's wild, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. 27th. And that'll put him at 277.
Oh, that's insane.
So that would put him up there with he would pass John Stewart. I don't know how to say his name. He would pass Peppers. He would pass Peyton Manning. He would pass Junior Seau, Lou Groza, and Tony Gonzalez. He would pass all those guys.
That's insane, bro.
If he plays all 17 games, that is crazy.
That is wild. He ain't making the Hall of Fame, guys. Stop the madness. But
he's definitely Hall of Famer. Dave, he should definitely go in the Ring of Honor for sure.
No, Ring of Honor, yes. I mean, he's the longest tenure player in the franchise history at this point, right? So, yeah, Ring of Honor, yes. Pro Football Hall of Fame, I love you, JJ. But there's a couple other Panthers that need to get in before you.
Put him in the hall, bro. First ballot.
Nah, dog.
First ballot, dog.
Look, man. If Eli Manning can't be first ballot, there's no hope. There's no hope for JJ. I'm just kidding. I'm happy he didn't get first ballot. I did not want him first ballot. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. So, yeah.
Dave, one more interesting fact. Only 5 players have played more games with one team. Can you name them, Dave? One team, 5 players have played more games with one team.
Tom Brady.
No.
Oh my God. Bruce Matthews?
Yes, that's one.
I know y'all probably looking at it like, how the hell did they come up with Bruce Matthews? Listen, bro, I do this, okay?
That's one.
I was thinking Favre, but I don't think Favre got there.
No, he didn't get there. You can get You can get 2.
Oh, Larry Fitzgerald.
That's 2. One more. You can get
Jerry
this
Rice.
One, Dave. No. I'm gonna give you the position, cornerback.
Deion Sanders? No, he's been switched to many teams.
It's not Deion. It's not Deion.
Oh no, he switched to many teams. He had too many teams. God had him going everywhere.
He just got his jersey retired not too long ago.
Oh my God, man. And when you say it, I'm gonna be
Washington football team.
Oh, Darryl Green?
Correct.
Darryl Green.
Yep. 295.
Wow.
Yeah. The other 2 are Lou Groza and John Hanson. And Dave, since we want to go to the Hall of Fame point, 4 of those guys in the Hall of Fame. So Dave, I think we got something here.
Well, Fitz will be 5 because Fitz is gonna be first ballot next year. Like I would be, but then again, the way that they're voting it, he'll still be first ballot. It'd be hard to keep Fitz out of there, man. It'd be very difficult to keep Fitz out of there. Oh
so
man.
So Dave, I think we got ourselves a Hall of Famer, bro.
A Hall of Famer, huh?
Yep.
My son's out here destroying stuff.
All right. So that's JJ Jansen. You retire for it? Absolutely.
Yeah, you can retire. Now we could definitely retire the number. Nobody else should wear that number.
Absolutely retire 44, bro.
Nah, don't be putting this on some, don't be out here putting that number on some random cat. Don't be Frank Alexandering the number, okay? Don't be doing what y'all did to Julius.
They definitely Frank Alexander the number. Oh, he just became a Frank Alexander? Wow. Don't get Frank Alexander.
Don't get Frank Alexander.
These are facts, Deontay. We just spitting facts. The resume is the resume. The resume is the resume.
His original position was linebacker, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Who cares about that?
No, I'm just trying to recall. Like, I don't know if there's ever been a moment. The only reason why I know that because back when I did play Madden, I believe
he got subbed in.
No, I mean, like sometimes I'm curious about certain things. So I would be like, all right, what did he play? And I think his original position was linebacker. Now, granted,
that's about right with his number.
Yeah. So I could be wrong, but I thought it was linebacker. which would be fascinating. If we ever had to get to the point to have to play JJ Jansen, man, we would be in trouble. Oh, it was tight end. Okay, never mind. I stand corrected.
Okay, yeah. All right. Shout out to JJ.
Jason Kyle was the linebacker.
Hell, we could have used him. Shit.
Well, could have kept them instead of keeping Neil time. Is what I'm hearing.
Right. But anyway, Dave, that is JJ Jansen. The legend has returned. Next, Dave, another signing occurred today. You got that wasn't it.
I know who it is.
That wasn't it, Dave. My bad. I'm not sure what happened there.
I know who it was. And let me just say, man,
I don't know why that keeps happening.
That's weird.
Very.
I think it's Andy Dalton. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yes, it is, sir. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, Dave, today signed a 2-year deal. So not just a 1-year deal, Dave. He signed a 2-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. I think it can be worth up to
$10 million.
$10 million, correct. $10 million. But it's I think $8 million guaranteed. Not a bad signing. I'm not mad at that. I like that they kept Andy Dalton around until Bryce, his deal is up. So it's a line there. You know what I mean? It's going to be a line with when Bryce Young is going to get that bag. So it's lined up. They're going to be together for the next couple of years. You need to have a backup. You got to have a solid backup quarterback nowadays. I think Andy Dalton is just that. So, yeah, I'm not mad at this. Not mad at this at all. Dave, how you feel?
Okay. Here's my thing.
No.
You got some
hate incoming?
No. Let me start by saying nothing to do with Andy Dalton. I think he's a good backup quarterback, but I'm always conscious.
Oh, you want a black up? That's what you want.
I need a quarter black up. I need a quarter black. So listen, I think Andy Dalton's. I think it's good from the standpoint of the continuity with Bryce. I just want to make sure we don't start having to bring on Andy Dalton chance. I mean, I've seen folks do it with to bring on Derek Anderson chance. That's the only thing I was concerned about. Other than that, I think this makes sense. It creates a level of continuity. There's a lot of rapport within the quarterback room. I'm not mad at that aspect. I'm just worried about the fan base. I'm worried about y'all. I'm concerned about y'all.
No, we like it. We cool. The fan base is cool, bro. We good. We like Andy Dalton, bro.
I like Andy Dalton too, but I don't want it to be like to the point of when Bryce has a bad game, bring on Andy Dalton. I don't want that.
No, we're not doing that. We stuck
because I don't think folks will be like, bring on Jameis Winston, bring on Jacoby Brissett. I don't think we'll get that. But for some reason we'll get bring on Andy Dalton. I just know.
Nah, I don't think so, Dave. We good. We good with Bryce.
I love Bryce. I think I don't think they're gonna say bring on Jack Plummer. I don't think we're at the point of bring on Jack Plummer yet. But that is a good question. Like, I mean, Plummer isn't he like he's a restricted free agent?
I think so.
So I think Plummer is going to be on the roster as well. But now, I know a lot of folks want Jameis. That ain't happening now, guys. That's a wrap.
Yeah, it's over for that.
That's it. The backup is Andy Dalton, which I think is good. I mean, he knows the system. He has continuity within the quarterback room. I'm not mad at it from that aspect. I'm just worried about the fans. That's all.
No, the fans are straight, bro. Shout out to Cage Luke Mister. He says, retire the 17 jersey tonight while we're here. Free Leggett.
No. Hey. Why would we be retiring jerseys? Why would we retire that number of all numbers?
I think we should retire from wide receiver play.
No. Absolutely not. I mean, maybe Leggett will turn that number around. Maybe we'll be retiring for another reason someday.
Let's hope so.
I mean, no, I ain't rolling. I ain't rolling, man.
Dave,
I got a Devin Funchess jersey too.
Dave, is it one?
No, it's too soon.
Is the number 17 of that jersey?
Not yet. It's too soon.
Is it cursed?
Nah,
if you know, you know. Shout out to that jersey. If you know, you know.
It ain't that jersey yet. It's too soon. I know folks don't want to hear give XL some time, but we got to. We have to. Like, you can't, like, it's funny. Like, my man, shout out to the 4-man rush, man. He mentioned, he was like, we just grabbed the wrong quarter. We just grabbed the wrong receiver. Ladd was right there. And I was like, you're right. Ladd was right there. So now you're willing to have the same folks go after the next wide receiver. Like, I don't know how I feel about that.
I did accidentally call him Funches. It was a
No, I heard you. Oh, I heard you. I was listening on the way. I was listening on the way to pick my daughter up. I heard you calling Funches. I heard you calling Funches. You out here having me almost got wrong. Wrecked my car when you said it too. Don't be out here naming names like that. Know your players, man. Don't know your numbers. Know your players.
Yeah. My bad, yo.
Before Funches, who else wore number 17? Didn't Jake DeLone wear number 17?
Yeah, Jake DeLone wore
17. Yeah, no, we're not. No, we're not retiring that number.
Yeah, we could. DeLone, you don't think DeLone earned a retirement?
I think if they were going to do it, they should have done it by now.
No, Dave. If you retire 17, you're going to retire a lot of jerseys, bro. We're good. Respectfully to the Jake legend, Jake DeLone.
I love Jake. I wouldn't be mad at it. I mean, until Cam showed up, he had all the records. Passing records, touchdown. He had them all before Cam showed up. I don't think he has any more now, but you know, because he didn't play for the team as long as Cam did. But man, you can't. If you're gonna retire, you retire. You let Jake get it. But then, like you said, there'll be a lot more players. I agree. Now, if Jake would have pulled out that Super Bowl against the Patriots, oh yeah, you got to retire the number. I don't give a damn what happened after at that point. Chark wants it.
It would have been a whole different conversation had you did that.
Oh yeah. He could have threw 6 interceptions in the game 5 times and nobody.
I wouldn't have cared. Boy, I was hot. I'm still hot over that, bro. That was the best, bro. That was the best team.
That was the best squad we had. The 08 squad was the best squad we had.
Bro. Man.
Sometimes that's the way it goes, man.
I get mad thinking about it, bro. Damn.
Yeah, that's why you're never going to be the top quarterback. Never.
Nah. All right, let's get to the Patreon. Shout out to Patreon members, man. Patreon.com/PantherNationPC, man. Sign up over here. There's gonna be some good stuff coming. My fault. Shout out to the MVPs, man. Shout out to the franchise. Go back. Shout out to the MVPs. Shout out to the franchise players, and shout out to free agents, man. We got some more content coming, potentially. We'll see how that goes. But we got some stuff on the way, so stay tuned, stay locked in with us. We appreciate all your support to the channel. It greatly helps us out and keeps this thing running week in and week out. So we greatly appreciate that. Dave, you want to drop some Underdog Fantasy stuff, man?
Yes, sir. Yeah, go to Underdog Fantasy and use the promo code PNP. They're still doing a best ball draft going into the NFL season. So just make sure you go to underdogfantasy.com. Use the promo code PNP when you do. It really helps out the channel. I know the NFL season's over, but they also do things for the NBA. They're going to start doing things for baseball season, ramp it up. They're doing things for golf. They got it all covered for any sport. They even do esports. You can do higher lowers for that as well. So just go to underdogfantasy.com and make sure you use the promo code PNP when you do. So shout out to Underdog. Shout out to Underdog, man. All right, so I want to go. Last week we reacted to a mock draft. I want to do this again. I might make this a thing. I don't know, but I saw that Cat Crave put out one. Shout out to Dean Jones, who put out one about 3 days ago. And so I want to react to this because I'm starting to see in mock drafts a lot of trends towards us taking Will Johnson. And again, cornerback, I keep saying this, and I don't know if y'all listening to me. Obviously, Evero is back, and he ain't going nowhere. And I know he's going to make some minor tweaks to his system. But there is one thing that helps the pass rush, Dave. That's a very, his system
very good secondary.
It's the secondary.
Correct.
Which is kind of the, like, when you talk about a lot of the best defenses in the league, well, at least historically with Carolina, a lot of times our best defenses was how good our front four was. But Evero's system tends to lean towards having a great secondary to help the pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of back. It's kind of in reverse of what we're normally used to.
Yeah. And so I keep saying this. This is one of the mock drafts. I was going to take Will Johnson at 8, but I've seen several that have taken Will Johnson at 8 and I think he's going to be there. He's got a little bit of a injury history that may scare some teams, but bro, I'm trying to imagine it. If you put him and JC Horn together, Dave, that. I don't need that. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna.
It might. I know what you want to say. Yeah, it's gonna be hard not to argue against it.
Bro,
that's
a monster, bro. That's a monstrous tandem.
If he shows the potential that you expect out of Will Johnson, right? Like we know what JC can do when healthy. Like JC's a shutdown corner when healthy. But yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's what I will say that makes it make sense is that you're getting ready to pay JC Horn. So if you can pay JC and then have another one on a rookie deal, that's called balance from a contract standpoint, from salary cap standpoint. You got an elite one on a contract. You got an elite one on a rookie deal, bro. That's dope. That's dope. You know what I mean? So I can see it. So let's go ahead and jump into this mock draft. I'm just gonna read through. I didn't make any slides to it, but I'm just gonna read it out and kind of read some of the thoughts that Dean came up with. So Will Johnson was number 8, pick number 1. We did not trade back in this, and this is pick number 8. So here's what he said about it. Shout out to Cat Crave. If you want to know more about this, go to catcrave.com. A good source for Panthers content. I kind of watch and check them out every now and then. So shout out to Cat Crave. But this is what he said about Will Johnson. He says Dan Morgan's plans should focus on the defensive improvements this offseason. Neglecting the offense wouldn't be wise, but the Carolina Panthers need to significantly bolster their options at coordinator Evero disposal, right? So he's saying we had a historically bad defense in 2024. We gave up the most points. We know about that. A deep class for defensive linemen and edge rushers. So the rationale behind this is that, since it's so deep, we can go and get an edge rusher and a defensive lineman a little bit later in the draft. Why not go ahead and get a cornerback now? You know what I mean? We know JC is solid. Mike Jackson Sr. is probably going to be extended. Sean Smith-Wade was solid. But what he's saying is adding someone with Johnson's attributes would provide the secondary with a huge boost. You know what I mean? So, again, he has all the traits normally associated with shutdown cornerbacks at the next level: size, length, athleticism, scheme versatility. He mirrors opposing wide receivers with incredibly well, and closes throwing windows with impressive frequency. So he's great pick, bro. It's a great pick, but does it make sense? And Dave, does that rationale make sense to you? Because the draft is so deep at edge and defensive end, or defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman, does it make sense to go ahead and grab your cornerback now?
It makes sense, but then I'm gonna play a little bit of a devil's advocate with the pick. And let me be clear, I wouldn't have an issue if they decided to take Will Johnson at 8. You just drafted a cornerback last year. Now, granted, you didn't draft somebody high, okay, but you just drafted a quarterback last year. Do you think Charles Smith-Wade is going to excel to the next phase in his development? If you do, why would you take him? Why would you take Will Johnson at 8 when you have more dire needs? Because you could argue that safety is a bigger need. You can argue edge is a bigger need. You can argue linebacker is a bigger need.
Yeah, I think it's two different types of cornerbacks. Sean Smith-Wade's more of he can play outside, but more of a nickel guy.
Fair.
And Will is a pure outside boundary corner. So I think there's two different situations when you're talking about when comparing Sean Smith-Wade and Will Johnson. I think it's two totally different guys.
I only ask that because that's fair. And because the thing for me, we're talking about the depth of the other positions. We have we don't have the 8th pick in the second round. We got the Rams pick, which is like in the playoff range in the second round. So so it's not like we're about, after we take our 8th pick, we're 32 picks away. We're more like 40 something, close to 50 picks away. So that's why I bring that up. with regards to that. That's why I was just wondering. Like I said, I have no issue if we make the decision to take Will Johnson in the draft. Some people will probably say he's the best pure corner in the draft over Travis Hunter. So it all depends how you look at it. It's all about the debate of it all. So it just, I wouldn't have an issue with it because I don't see him. He'll be there. I think this is the pick if one of those elite edge rushers don't fall to us. I think this is the pick. I don't think it's going to be a wide receiver. I think it would be I think it's definitely going to be defense, just a matter of who's sitting there at 8. So,
yeah. So Dave, to your point, just moving on to the second round pick that we do have that you just mentioned, real quick, let's hit the super chat before I move on. Oh, my fault. Blue Eye Bandit says, my fault. Go ahead. Yeah, my fault. Go ahead, Dave.
Shout out to LaDainian and Carr. Also, I'm wearing the same exact shirt. Yeah, man, I had to throw this on, man. I was dressed up today. And did we get this one here too?
No, I did not.
If we resign Mike Jack and take Will Johnson, them both can play. Bombs Recording and JC can follow us or play in the slot. Now, I appreciate the super chat, LaDainian.
Yeah,
make sure I got any more. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, and then just real quick, just to reiterate, all super chats are going to the causes that Jalen Coker supports. So you got the Love Like Adam Foundation, and you got the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation that he also supports. So we're trying to get to $1,000. I think we made a nice little headway today. So keep dropping those super chats if you can, please. And we'll see if we can hit that goal. All right, Dave, now going back to what you were saying with that second pick, Dave, we did address the edge rusher here, and we took Shamar Stewart. This is a guy that y'all know I've been kind of on this guy for a little bit. He might be, y'all know how I always go into the draft with a guy. Like there's always a guy that I like, that I really, really like, and I hope we end up picking. He might be one of those guys. And I'm going to be completely honest. This is more of a projection. He has the traits, hasn't quite developed into that yet. He hasn't reached his max potential. Just yet. But Shamar Stewart, pick number 57. And again, according to Dean, he says, again, another critical objective for the Panthers centers on the defensive front seven within the 3-4 system. Everything starts up front, and adding another explosive edge rusher from the college ranks is an attainable objective. Losing Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu, Utugos Matos, left them, I don't know, well, let me chill. Left them devoid of reliable options. Jadeveon Clowney and DJ Wanham formed a decent tandem over the second half of the season, but that's not enough, he says. It would be surprising if Shamar Stewart was available here. I think he's probably going to go late in the first, just to be honest with you. But he had a good Senior Bowl. He's got the good length, pause, explosiveness. He's got the measurables, pause. Stack numbers weren't there. But if this guy develops into what he can be, and it's all about coaching, right? This is one of them ones. This is one of these guys, right? I'm telling you, Shamar's one of these guys. We always talk about it every year. If he goes to the right system, and you can say that for everybody, but him specifically, if he goes to the right system and he's developed by a good coaching system, or a good coach that has been around the system for a long time, they know what to expect. There's no guessing. This guy can be really good. So Shamar Stewart was the guy that Dean Jones took. Dave, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm not mad at that whatsoever, because now that's 2 picks, 2 defensive players, potentially 2 starters. So I'm not going to be mad at making that move for Shamar Stewart. Like, if the position is as deep as what people are saying, then I'm open to waiting. But you know how I feel about it. But at the same time, we potentially get 2 starters so far, so I can't complain one bit with regards to that.
All right, moving on. With our 3rd round pick, Dave, we flip to the offensive side of football, and we draft Jalen Royals. Okay. Again, you got XL, you got Coker. Thielen got 1 more year in him. That's probably going to be it. You know what I mean? It's probably not. Is that going to be enough? Especially if we don't address it in free agency. Is that tandem going to be enough? You know what I mean? So Jalen Royals is a playmaker. He checks a lot of boxes according to this write-up. Burst onto the scene at Utah State in 2023. 1,080 yards, 15 touchdowns. It did end abruptly. Season did last year after 7 games, but he was able to put up some good numbers. He's a good route runner, good hands, stretch the field. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he's a good pass catcher, and he can make things happen, and that's what the Panthers are looking for. Dave, Jalen Royals in the 3rd round. What you think about this one?
I'm cool with taking a wide receiver here. I think my big thing has always been taking a guy in the first round or 2. So I'm after the first 2 rounds because you're getting the starters established. Like, I know folks are panicking about the wide receiver situation, but them deciding if the Panthers decide to take a wide receiver in the 3rd round, it tells you how much faith you have in the players you currently got. And it also shows you're going to take some time to develop Leggett. I think Coker's making strides, and then you have Adam Thielen to mentor 3 young wide receivers, and I think that's a good case scenario from that regard.
Okay, not mad at that either.
Yeah, no, I'm not like
not mad at Royce.
Like you see, this is it. It goes back to, I know everybody was talking about Tet, and I'm like, guys, we got so many holes.
Well, Tet is a game changer, though, bro. It's different. Just my opinion.
No, but you're not alone, and I get it. You don't think Will Johnson's the game changer to that Euro defense? I think he is.
I think so. Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or like, you don't think Shamar Stewart is going to be a big factor in the defense if we drafted him in the 2nd round? He'll definitely be in the rotation.
I don't think he's going to be. I don't think Shamar is going to be there.
I don't think he would. But my point is, if we get him in the 2nd, you're talking about somebody that's going to be part of the rotation. Like we had the worst defense in NFL history last season.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like I understand how bad. I understand how bad we want like a no question wide receiver 1, but I also would like to have a defense that's not the worst in NFL history. So
fair.
Just like, and that's what it boils down to for me. Like, it's not that I hate Tet. Let me be clear. It's just we had the worst defense in NFL history last year.
Well, this next
and we brought back the DC.
This next guy is not going to help with that defense side of football. But they did in this mock draft select Jarrett Wilson, who was a center from Georgia.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not.
And
mad
again,
at
that. It looks like all signs are going to look, or all
Brady
signs
Christensen.
point towards Brady Christensen leaving, right? Yeah, exactly. So that's a spot that's open. Austin Corbett, Christensen, Cade Mays, all those guys, played center this year, but all of them are also free agents. So I do hope we can keep Cade Mays. I don't know about Corbett's situation is a little bit different. Although we may re-sign him, I don't know if he's part of the long-term plan, but we may have to because of the voided years in his contract. And it just makes it an easier pill to swallow if he's extended. But I don't know how they're going to do it. He hasn't been healthy, since he's been here. So I don't know how that's going to work out. So Jarrett Wilson, they say he's a little raw with just 1 year starting experience at center, but his ceiling is high. He's got good athleticism, good football IQ. He's going to fit into the pro scheme very effectively. He's got a good core base, makes him difficult prospect to shift on running plays. Probably going to have some, touch up his technical growth in 2025, but a lot of value in the 4th round here, especially if he can be coached up. And there's one coaching group that I've seen do work across multiple teams, and that's our offensive line group. And I'm glad they got highlighted on that blueprint. So I think that any offensive lineman we bring in here, especially from the draft, is going to fit right into that, and I think they'll do well. So this is what I want, that kind of confidence in my coaching on the defensive side of football. But Dave, what you think about Jarrett Wilson, 4th round pick?
I'm not mad at this because, like we talked about the fact that Brady Christensen is going to be out of here from that regard. So I think that this is I expect them to take offensive linemen in this draft. It's just a matter of where. I'm not mad at it as our 4th pick so far up to this point. I think some people might feel away, but it boils down to the reality that Brady Christian is not returning. Don't know if we're going to re-sign K Mays. Got a lot of free agents, man. Like I, some folks had the running joke of like drafting all defense. I said nah. I can see us drafting a running back. I can see us drafting some offensive linemen. I can see us drafting pretty much any position offensively. It's just a matter of when you make the decision to do it. And I'm not mad at it. Mad at it here.
All right, Dave. With our next 4th round pick, we go back to the defensive side of football, and we draft defensive lineman Jordan Phillips. Obviously, Shy Tuttle. Yeah, I mean, never really got that effort we were looking for out of him. But probably going to be a salary cap casualty. So we'll see what happens with that. So we need to find somebody that's going to be capable of plugging some gaps. Pause. And then, probably might get 2 of them. You never know. But so we're probably going to add somebody in free agency, probably a lower cost investment. But obviously you want to take advantage of some of this deep draft class. You know what I mean? So Phillips has got special permission to enter the 2025 NFL draft early, which should put him on the short list. He's a good athlete for his size. Isn't much college production to speak of at Maryland, but he's got good measurables. And again, once you put it together, it's kind of more of a projection. It's just like Shamar, but good core base, explosiveness at the contact point, good lateral movement. Again, good asset to the Carolina Panthers. So, Dave, any thoughts on this pick, defensive lineman, Jordan Phillips?
No. We have to keep marching on with the defense. I anticipate we're going to draft. This draft is going to be more defense heavy with the sprinkle of offense in between. I think that's a good spot for him. I don't expect the same thing with Shamar Stewart. I think he would definitely be more of a rotational piece, but it's another step into fixing the trenches. So I'm never going to be mad about fixing the trenches.
So would you like to see an interior defensive lineman taken a little bit earlier?
It'd be nice, but at the expense of what, right? Like I think if the top guy is sitting there at 8, you kind of got to take him, right? But outside of that, I wouldn't be mad if we took one earlier. But I mean, we do have we need help. I think if we fix the trenches, it'll mask a lot of other things. But once again, the way that Everal's defense is, probably got to fix the secondary. One thing that's fascinating is that I don't know if he's going to draft a safety in this draft, but so far no talks of a safety. I would think a safety would help.
Yeah. So real quick, interesting notes on Mr. Phillips. He is a redshirt sophomore, so he's a younger kid. They did change the rules for underclassmen and their admittance. But he did participate in the 2025 East-West Shrine Bowl. So that was dope. He was ended up on Bruce Fieldman's annual freaks list, credited with a 665-pound squat and 365-pound overhead press, 2 reps. Dave, this young man is a strong individual. Okay. He's 6'1", 318 pounds. So he's got low center of gravity, which is going to help with leverage. I like this pick. The more I read about it, I need to go daggone do some research, man. I like this pick. I need to do some research on my man, Jordan Phillips. But good stuff there on him. His comparison, I'm reading a pro comparison, is Aleem McNeil from NC State. That's not a bad comparison. But anyway, moving on. 5th round pick, Dave. We go to the linebacker position in draft Jeffrey Bassa. Again, the first sentence in this is that Shaq Thompson future's in the air right now. We don't know. Josie Jewell did okay. He obviously had some bumps in the road, but he played okay. Trevor Wallace he played as a rookie as well, was decent. But outside of that, there's no promises to anybody. You know what I mean? And so regardless of whether Thompson plays or not, the Panthers are probably going to be able to use another linebacker. So I think he's a solid scheme fit. He says Bassa identifies plays incredibly well. He's a football savant who recognizes plays developing quickly before reaching the contact point with conviction. This also makes him an asset in coverage to further enhance his influence. Oregon prospect needs to add muscle upon joining the pros, but he can become a dynamic special teams ace while working on other areas of his game. So, Dave, that's what the read up is on Jeffrey Bassa. Any thoughts?
If there's one position that I wouldn't be mad that we go early in, it would be this position. But I understand why we waited as long as I understand why Dean waited as long as he did to make this pick. Folks are gonna probably balk at special teamer. It seems like it's a habit of us taking linebackers late, and then they end up potentially being in special teams when we really need some help on. Like, we need some starters. Like, we need some legitimate help at the position. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's another thing that we just gotta take into account. I'm not mad at the pick. I just wish we start thinking about that position a little bit earlier. And you would think, considering who our GM is, who's a great linebacker in his own right, that he would put some sway into that position when it comes to the draft. And he might. We never know. But it's just a thought regarding that.
Yeah. You're right. You're right, Dave. So next, Dave, we do get into, and this is our other 5th round pick, we do get into the safety position, Dave. This is a position that you talked about earlier, and we haven't addressed it yet. Here it is. So we draft Malachi Moore in the 5th round. Obviously, we know that the whole safety position for the Panthers is going to be overhauled. You got 4 veterans who had the lion's share of the reps in 2024, and all of them are on contracts years and probably looking for new deals. They're going to be free agents, excuse me. So you got Xavier Woods, a little bit inconsistent. Probably we going to move on from him. Jordan Fuller, Nick Scott. They're probably going to take their chances elsewhere. Sam Franklin is on the roster, probably going to get another deal. But we haven't seen him play the position as a true safety in but one game. So it's really, we really don't know what we have in him. He's more of a special teams ace. So it's time for the Panthers to consider drafting a safety. We got to get the right blend of youth and experience. And I think this is a ball hawk. So Malachi Moore is a ball hawk, good value at this point in the draft. He's athletic, instinctive, intelligent, good asset at the line of scrimmage. A sure tackler, strong communicator, leading from the front is not a problem either. Not the quickest in the world, so landing in the right fit is going to be crucial. But there's nothing to suggest that Moore couldn't be an immediate depth piece and core special teamer in this scenario. So even the way the read is, he wouldn't be the guy to come in and start. And that's what you're probably going to get at this point in the draft, which is why Dave was questioning why we waited so long.
Man, what would you have been willing to give up? Would you have been preferred to take the linebacker this round, vice the other round, or maybe not take a center as early, or maybe not take a wide receiver as early? We're talking about you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have in that 3rd round. I probably would have taken. And this is all. It's all considering. It's hard because we don't know what free agency looks like. Did we go out and pay a wide receiver, or there's a lot of factors that go into play here, and I don't see the board. I just see the picks. So
no. I feel you. So like, so far, based on what I'm seeing, based on like what's happening in the draft, the first thought I had was, all right, it's clear that we're probably not going to go after a center in free agency. I think we're going to probably end up starting that rookie. Based on what I'm seeing, right? It's clear that wide receiver is not as dire as what people keep saying in Twitter. So, or if they're going to do it, they're going to do something in free agency, which I don't see that at this rate either. Shout out to Luke W for the super chat. Let's get $1,000 for Coker. Appreciate that
Shout
one,
out to
boss.
Luke, man. Appreciate that. He probably jumped in the first right about now. That puts him in first place off the rip. One super chat, move to first. Gonna push some other guys down. So top 5. Let's make it happen.
He going for that number 1 spot, man.
Salute.
But
shout out to Luke.
But yeah, I think taking a safety here, it's about expectation at this point. What do you expect of somebody that gets drafted this low? I mean, folks do pop out and become starters. Don't get me wrong,
they absolutely do.
But what's the initial expectation? Because at this point, you're talking about potential development. There's something that will pop, but most folks are in development, special teams. Like this is the bread and butter side. Like most teams are built on the final day. So of the draft. So that's where we're at.
Yep. So with the next pick in this is the 6th round or another 5th round pick, excuse me. The Panthers select another defensive lineman, the interior defensive lineman, Dave. Yep. Double dip Tonka Hemingway from, you guessed it, Dave, South Carolina. Okay. So this class is deep in interior defensive lineman. So obviously it's looking likely for us to draft 2 guys or maybe even triple dip. You never know.
That says a lot, by the way. Just so you got like to do that says a lot. But at least you make deciding to take Will Johnson in the first round, then come back with an edge, and then you come later in the draft and get the defensive lineman, the interior lineman. One if not both is going to stick. So
So yes, it's looking like Ashawn probably going to be the only guy to come back. You still got Shot Tuttle, Deshaun Williams, LeBron Ray. They're out there, but probably won't be looking to probably won't be Panthers next year. So Tonka, he, again, flying under the radar a little bit. He's nothing flashy about him. He just goes in there and handles business. 4 seasons of solid college production. At South Carolina, he's got 112 tackles, 18 tackles for loss, 9.5 sacks. He probably could bulk up a little bit just to kind of sustain in the NFL, and that's kind of the biggest thing with interior defensive linemen. We talked about it with Derrick Brown when y'all was ready to give up on him. That transition to play in the trenches in the NFL is one of the toughest transitions you can make. Them grown men in the trenches, bro. Like it's gonna take some time for them to develop. So that's why it's good to have guys like Ashawn, Derrick Brown, and all that, so you can help Tonka or whoever we draft ease their way into the game and develop, because it's not gonna be easy in the trenches, bro. It's tough. But quick mover, change direction is good. No wasted movements. But solid player, Dave, overall, and another South Carolina guy, and I can see us taking him. Whether it's here, 6th, 7th round, whatever, I can see us taking the guy. But Dave, how you feel about this double dip?
Oh, I love it. Like I said, we gotta fix the trenches, man. And so I want to make, and here's the key too, and I don't think it's discussed enough. I want to make sure we get the pieces for Evero, because Dan Vorgan took some level of ownership about not getting the proper pieces for him. We gotta find out whether or not it was the pieces or was it him. So this helps him get the pieces that he needs. But I think you got to have some level of patience with these interior linemen, because a lot of times the interior linemen don't really pop like that. It's historically, particularly interior. Historically, it takes 2 to 3 years. I know y'all don't want to hear Hove, but I mean Hove is 7, but 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Derrick Brown is a prime example of that.
Yep, for sure. And last but not least, Dave, in the 7th round, they're going to take a running back, Trevor Etienne, from Georgia.
Is he related to the Etienne that's in Jacksonville?
Yeah, I think that's his brother, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, brothers. They're brothers. Again, with Brooks going down, potentially missing the whole season, this does become a position of need. And it's a deep class if you kind of take a look at it. So you might be able to find somebody with folks not willing to invest in the running back position like that, you might be able to find a little diamond in the rough here. But you got Chuba, he's gonna be solid. Miles Sanders probably gonna get cut. Brooks probably gonna miss the season. So it's gonna be interesting. We got to find another playmaker. He doesn't have the same ring of his brother, right? It's not Trevor, but they've got similar traits, right? So, the quote unquote pocket rocket. He's 5'8", good vision. It's good explosiveness to exploit the gaps. Pause, and then he can make things happen in the open field, make guys miss. But yeah, so again, scheme is important with these guys. So you never know what happens, man. You never know what could happen. Dave, any thoughts on Trevor Etienne?
I'm not mad at it. I think and I'm gonna be honest, I think at this point we probably could just grab somebody from UDFA in that position group. But then that means I gotta decide who we can go after. But I'm not mad at it. Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yep. All right, Dave. Overall, that is the draft. Dave, any thoughts on the entire draft as a whole? Anything you would have done different?
Safety earlier.
Yeah.
Linebacker earlier. I mean, those are only two things.
Yeah.
I just feel like we have a habit of saying that we need to do X, Y, and Z, and then we'll be complaining about what we don't have. So yeah, those two positions I think we got to have a bigger priority on. Just my opinion there. I want to get through these super chats real quick. I think there's only a couple. Cheshire Cat. I saw a lot of my drafts getting linebacker Jalen Walker at number 8. What do you guys think about it? What's your thoughts, Rashad?
I like Walker. I mean, he's a local kid too. He's from Salisbury, so he's one of those guys that he's got the traits. I think he's like 6'5", edge rusher. I like him, man. I like him. I think it's tough, man. It's tough. I think I would like it if we were able to trade back, but I don't know if he's going to be there. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I like him though. I think he's got some development to do. But I like him. I do like him. I would not. I'll put it this way. I wouldn't be mad if he was a pick. I wouldn't be mad at all.
I think a lot of folks will feel away about the pick, and I think it'll just and let me be clear.
He's 6'2". My 6'2", 245, the tweener. My bad. I think I got him and Michael Williams mixed up. But yeah, I do like this. He's more of the tweener guy. So it's interesting. He's more going to remind you of he's going to fill that Frankie Louvu role. He's going to fill that Frankie Louvu role that we once had. So how important is that to you? You know what I mean? Like, so I like him. I like Walker. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of I don't know, bro. He is a little he's that tweener, bro. He's that Hassan Reddick, Frankie Louvu type. I mean, it worked here. It worked, but you just.
But will it work? Will it work? Will it work under Evero? Because it worked pre-Evero. Because it became I mean, Louvu played well near the end, but it's obvious that he wanted to do something else when he left. So I wouldn't be mad at it. I remember one time. I remember a few years back, we took a linebacker that we didn't need, even though we absolutely need one here. It worked out fine.
Yeah,
he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I'm gonna be honest. Jalen wouldn't be my top. Like, he wouldn't be my top choice, especially depending on who else is there. But I can see it. If we traded back and got him, I wouldn't be mad. But at 8 that's a bit rich for me.
How back you talking?
No later than 15. I don't want to go back no later than 15.
Okay.
Just my personal thought. There's no real reason. I just think that's a good spot to be in.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Makes sense. Let's see here. Check to see if there's any more super chat before we adjourn. I don't think there's anything else.
And he is from Southbury. Yeah, because he's born in Conway, Dave.
Conway, South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, man, I wouldn't be mad at it. Wouldn't be mad at it at all.
So we got Green. Some folks are saying he wouldn't make it that far.
He might not, depending on the teams and the because he's gonna be the perfect fit somewhere, right? You're gonna look back at that joint, and be like, man, that's a perfect fit for that system. He's not gonna work with everybody's system though. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna be a target for everybody. You know, that's kind of how he is. It's kind of like Nolan Smith and the Eagles. Like they took him and it worked out. You know what I mean? Just because of the system, but it has to be the right system for it to work.
Yeah. Okay.
So, was there another super chat?
No, I think that's it. I think we've covered all the super chats. Yeah, that was it.
All right. Anything else we got to discuss?
I don't think so. I mean, we got. No, I don't think so. Let me tell you something, Paul. When you got a lot of holes, you won't be mad at too many things.
It's true. Yeah, this roster is it's so bad that we can't be mad at a lot of things.
The thing is, right? So a lot of folks want to take wide receiver early. And my thing is, we got so many holes. We got so many positions that take priority. Like I can just imagine if we decide to try to go too offensively in this draft, and then we look at what we got defensively. But it also depends what happens with free agency, right? Once free agency go, then we'll figure out where the free agency is going to dictate where we're going in the draft. That's going to show a lot. Like if we go after and get some pretty good pass rushers, some good edge rushers, and like a linebacker and maybe a safety, then that says a lot about what we're doing in the draft. It says a lot. It kind of thins down the pool, so to speak. And then once we get to the visits process and everything else, once we see all these things, then we'll get an idea of what's it going to look like. But right now, we're all just trying to guess. But what we do during the free agency period is going to say a lot. And if we don't do much in the free agency period, buckle up, guys. Buckle up. Been a lot of talk about what the expectations are for next season. I'll say that.
Yeah, it's up. I mean, I think we're feeling good. I think the Panthers are feeling good, man.
I think folks who don't think we have a shot to make the playoffs aren't looking at this the right way. And I know it's early. I know we haven't gotten the draft. I know we haven't done free agency, but I think you got to start thinking that way just a tad. You should be thinking that way. You know? We've seen too much progress not to think that way. The division's still open, guys. Like, let's not act like it's not. It is. It's still open.
Yep. So, but yeah, man. Anything else before we close this thing down?
Nah, let's shut it down, man.
Yep. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Help us get to 25,000. Let's make that happen. So hit that sub button. Also, remember all super chats for the month of February are going to Jalen Coker and the foundations he supports. So please donate. Top 5 contributors get a signed 8x10 from Jalen Coker. So please do that. And with that, any other thoughts, comments? If we're not, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.